back here with another video. We got a bunch of answers to the siakam trade tree, so I wanted to kind of update it because I did a video a couple weeks ago on my thoughts and the ripples of the trade and how we set up our assets this year and whatnot. But let's go through the existing tree and where it is at the moment. So we just traded Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, the Indy 2026 first, and the Raptors 2031 second for Ingram. So 3 of the 4 assets were actually directly from the Pascal trade. Obviously, Bruce Brown was the main piece salary-wise coming back to us. Kelly Olynyk was part of the Utah trade for that lower first in the 2024 draft. We picked Jacoby with the other pick, right? So now we got a couple of answers to things. So the way it looks right now is the Raptors basically traded Siakam and downgraded him from like an all-NBA all-star to like a younger one-time all-star, fringe all-star guy, but also got Jacoby Walter, Shed, Ochai, and we traded Mitchell, so that gets us another second, which is the Lakers 2026 second, so it's going to be a bit high, and we still have the Portland 2025 second, which is going to be pretty high. So that's decent, like, you know what I mean? Like, as a return for a guy, we got a bunch of legit prospects, another kind of main asset guy that has more upside in a sense of if we can like showcase him better, and maybe he's an asset to stay or maybe he's an asset to trade later on, continuing the Siakam trade tree. But at the moment, the package is looking pretty decent at the moment if we can really lock in on Brandon Ingram and get him going, right? So this is like taking Bruce and Kelly and the uncertainty of that first, which Indy's looking pretty good, and they're probably going to be good next year, so that's probably going to be a lower first. So we took a lower first, Kelly and Bruce, and turned them into Brandon Ingram with paying an additional second, but we recouped a second on the Mitchell, so we're no worse for wear. So we're up a second in the whole package, basically. We fast-forwarded a second in time, and we'll probably recoup it at a later date. Who knows, you know what I mean? But ultimately, I think this trade deadline was shaped by the Siakam trade. We needed to recoup value from the assets that we got from the Siakam trade. And that's the thing. You want to go liquid for a second to be able to pounce on opportunities where the Pels' leverage was poor because not a lot of people were interested in Brandon Ingram, and his injury history is questionable, but we have a better medical staff, and we've shown to showcase players even through injuries and be able to show the best side of them, like Kawhi. Kawhi basically was injured for the last couple of years in San Antonio, comes to Toronto, plays pretty much like a decent chunk of the season and all of the playoffs, right, all the way up to the championship. And then every year after, he's pretty much had serious injury after serious injury after serious injury. So I think there is something to that the Raptors can improve health, and they are a good, organized medical staff that has a lot of knowledge when it comes to rehabbing and maintaining certain injuries. So I think the risk of re-signing is a little bit lower based on teams out there with free space. So I think we're pretty sure we're going to lock in Ingram to another contract. So I'm just going to add that to the trade tree in a sense of what Siakam was traded for. So that's why like you have to kind of wait over time to see how things pan out, because immediately off the bat it seemed like it wasn't enough. But now that we're looking at the trade tree one season past, pretty much, you know what I mean, a season and a bit, right? It's looking a lot better in a sense of value recuperation and how we manage the assets. I think that was a big key. When you go liquid, it's about how you manage your assets. Like, you can go misfire in all a bunch of different directions, but I think ultimately you have to pounce on the opportunities to get the most out of the package. And I think they've squeezed the value as much as possible. And I think we're in a good place right now regarding value-wise. We'll see how the contracts play out next couple of years. I think we're fine for now, I think. We might not use as much expiring contract space, whatnot, and just, like, try to hold our assets and play our assets well. So next year, it's less dead weight on the end and more prospects, kind of. So there's a balance returning where we can refill the starters and whatnot. So it's all good. Hopefully we get a good pick this year. I think the front office is still very keen on that, even though we did trade for Brandon Ingram, so no worries. We'll see how everything works out, but so far the Siakam trade tree is looking good. See you guys.